that you saw, Alan. Let's talk about it. The director is coming on the show later today. Mali Elfman will join us. This film, Next Exit, is an indie sci-fi movie directed by Mali Elfman, and it's about two people who seek to be a part of a medical experiment. The medical experiment will end your life. And by ending your life, you cross over into a spiritual realm. Now, this process was discovered by a scientist played by Karen Gillan in the movie, and you see like these news reports with her, and she discovered this when a young boy was seen playing a game with his father, like a board game with his father, but his father had passed away. There's no way that anyone would know how to play this game that they played together. She collects this evidence and she starts a medical procedure. This is not really what the movie is about per se. This is the sort of science fiction premise that kicks off the film, but it becomes about two people traveling to San Francisco together to undergo the procedure. Both of them want to end their lives. The two characters are Teddy and Rose, played by Rahul Kohli and Katie Parker. They both go to rent a car. They've rented the last car, and they realize they've got to go on the road together to get to this institute to go undergo this experimental procedure because they just want to end everything. Both characters have struggled with depression for a good amount of time and have just decided, well, if this can be for the good of science, I'm going to end my life. So it becomes an indie film, and this is kind of a genre of indie film we've seen before, a road movie where two people don't exactly get along, and they learn things about each other on the road, but with this hanging over their head that once they meet their destination, they will both end their lives. So, Alan, what I quite enjoyed this film. I love a good indie film, indie sci-fi that has a solid premise. I will say the ending really got me. I'm not going to say anything that happens in the third act to keep that on the down low. The movie is out today. And Alan, what did you think of Next Exit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fair to say that the science fiction aspect of this movie bookends it.
Right.
I think the center of the movie, the main thrust of the story is a drama about two people who the take on it is basically two people who want to end their lives, but the stakes, but because of the technology, because of the idea that there is an afterlife and that death doesn't mean death, that it pulls a little bit of the wind out of the idea of death, of dying, and that is the point of this movie, is to explore why are two people wanting to end their lives. What is it about and I think it has a lot to do with what is it about their current lives that they're kind of running away from, not wanting to face or deal with, that makes dying and not really dying so attractive. And I thought that was the interesting spin. I think it took a while for me to kind of embrace the story, because I think I was expecting a lot more, a lot more of the sci-fi aspect of it from the beginning of the film. But once you kind of get into it, once you kind of embrace the fact that it's really a drama, then it has a lot of really interesting things to say about life and about dying.
Yeah, it's really, it definitely, I mean, once you set up the premise, it kind of, you're right, it bookends the movie. Like there's this premise, they're traveling to San Francisco together to undergo this procedure, which will, they're basically going to end their lives. And so it's about like, how do you cope with, with those feelings of depression, where you've gotten to a place where you just don't want to exist. You don't want to be here. So I really love that aspect of it. And I also love the like you can just introduce a concept. You don't need a lot of special effects. You don't need a lot of big, spectacular, money spent on digital effects and whatnot. Just setting up the premise alone makes this worth exploring. So
Yeah, I mean that part right there happens at the end, and I think it pays off in a really good way. But it's really not about that ending. It's really the payoff to what has been set up throughout the film.
yeah, exactly. Let's go to our comments here. So I recommend Next Exit. It is out on video on demand, I believe, today. And we can talk to Mali Elfman. I believe that the trailer is in the description of this video. So check out the trailer, and we'll be talking to Mali. I believe this is her directorial debut.